With the recent release of the Galaxy S21 set of phones, it had me thinking, how does the 2019 S10 series stack up today, and are they worth buying 2 generations later? The phone I currently use every day is the Galaxy S10e. The design of the phone is simple and doesn't stand out in any crazy looks. The S10e has a classic glass-back design with polished aluminum sides. The design holds up well today, feeling premium and hefty. Probably the biggest advantage of the S10 series of phones is the inclusion of a headphone jack and expandable storage. With the removal of the headphone jack in the S20 and expandable storage in the S21, these features are not to be taken for granted today. I personally use the headphone jack every day and would be bothered to lose it. And as for expandable storage, it's a good peace of mind to know if you fill up the phone's 128 or 256 gigabytes of internal storage, you can easily pop in up to an additional terabyte of storage. The S10e has a simple display by today's standards with just a 1080p resolution and 60Hz refresh rate. Compared to today's more advanced screens with 120Hz refresh rates and 1440p resolutions, this can seem underwhelming. But this simply isn't the case in daily use. The flat OLED display has vibrant colors and is a treat for the eyes. The 1080p resolution isn't a problem on the phone with its small 5.8-inch screen size. And as for the refresh rate, it can be a downside if you've already used high refresh rate screens, but if you haven't, you won't be missing out on anything. With the S10e's small 5.8-inch 1080p screen, 60Hz refresh rate, and efficient Snapdragon 855, the battery life is as expected, fantastic. Although small by today's standards, the 3100 mAh battery stuffed into the S10e has no problem powering this efficient phone for a long time. In my experience, with casual use consisting of occasional light gaming, watching YouTube, and scrolling through social media, I find my S10e lasting between 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. Over the past year and a half, battery life has slightly improved. With the update to the more efficient Android 10 in early 2020, my experience is you won't have any problem making it through the day with any of the Galaxy S10 phones. You may have seen a few videos I've shot over the past year and a half on this channel, such as the 2019 cinematic Alpine and the recent 2020 cinematic Elements. Both of these videos were entirely filmed on my S10e. By today's standards, the camera system on the S10 line of phones holds up. Over the years, Samsung has added camera features to the S10e, which were introduced with the new Galaxy phones, keeping the camera fairly competitive today. Since its release in 2019, Samsung has added features such as single take and a dedicated night mode to the S10e, keeping the camera competitive with today's S21. Photos on the S10e sport accurate color and fantastic HDR capabilities by today's standards. While the sensor size might be smaller than today's huge 108 megapixel sensors found in the S21 Ultra, they still hold up well and prove to be reliable in a large variety of shooting conditions. Here are a few examples of the camera's performance in various lighting conditions. Something which has plagued Samsung phones in the past was long-term performance. While this may have been true, it definitely is not the case today. With the introduction of One UI in early 2018, Samsung phones have moved far from this. In fact, with the update to Android 10 in early 2020, my S10e has become noticeably faster and more pleasing to use. With the introduction of smoother animations and gestures, the S10 is truly better than it was in 2019. Now that Android 11 has rolled out to the S20 and S21 series, it's set to roll out to the S10 series in the coming weeks. Samsung is promising 3 years of major software updates to its smartphones, starting with the S10 line. With this, the S10 will be supported until Android 12 in 2022, making it still relevant by today's standards. We'll have to wait and see if this holds true, but with my S10e still receiving security patch updates at the first of each month, I have no doubt this will hold true. With software updates still to come and consistently improving performance, I have no troubles believing that the S10 phones are still worth buying today over the more expensive 2021 line.